final day of the regular season in ACC women's basketball, and the 17th ranked Syracuse Orange and Boston College Eagles look to head to Greensboro with momentum. Eagles and Orange next. We welcome you inside the Conti Forum for a matchup of two old Big East rivals, the 17th ranked Syracuse Orange and the homestanding Boston College Eagles. Hi everybody, Bill Spalding with you alongside former Eagle Carrie Shields. We have reached the end of the regular season. Hard to believe, but the calendar says March. ACC tournament only a couple of days away, and Carrie, those ACC standings are finally starting to solidify.
It's the best time of the year, March. March Madness coming, but these two teams, Syracuse coming off a big win against top 25 Florida State on the road, and Boston College after a week off, after their loss at Louisville, coming in looking to end this season conference play with a win here today.
That Syracuse win against Florida State has solidified them into the number 5 spot for the ACC tournament. That cannot change. Boston College 13th in the ACC standings. Syracuse is led by one of the best point guards in the entire country, Tiana Mangakahia, 4 points away from 1,000 in her 2-year career.
You said it, she's leading the country in assists with 8 per game, but coming off that game versus Florida State, 44 points, 16 for 20 from the field, really making a case as the best point guard in the country.
And for Boston College, in the previous meeting against Syracuse, Emma Guy was just remarkable. She's from upstate New York. All her family were in town, and she scored 30 points.
He said it in front of her home crowd, had 30 points, 14 rebounds, really dominated the inside against Syracuse's zone. They're going to need a big game from her today if they can pull off an upset this afternoon.
Syracuse is led by Quentin Hillsman. He's in his 13th year. Coach Q has taken Syracuse from a program that was basically an afterthought in women's basketball to a team that is generally a top 25 squad, and only a couple of years ago was in the national championship game against UConn. Boston College led by Joanna Burnaby McNamee, who we chatted with before the game today, and she said she feels like this first year has flown by.
For us, it seems like it's flown by as well, but Burnaby McNamee said how proud she is of how much her team has grown. They had an unbelievable non-conference play, came into conference play a little bit different, had some struggles, and looking to finish this conference play with a win.
Joanna Burnaby McNamee said that they hit the reset button this week. They were able to practice hard because of the bye and then wind things back down, getting closer to game time. Syracuse in the orange, Boston College in the white. Referees today are Brian Brunette, Tom Halid, and Mark Merritt. Here we go in the final regular season game for both sides. Tiana Mangakahia will have the ball in her hands for the majority of this game for Syracuse. On the interior to Amaya Finkley, she scores. It's a homecoming game for the sophomore from Dorchester, Massachusetts.
And we'll see one change in the Eagles lineup. Michaela Dickens starting on the bench. Her second straight game coming in off the bench, has been one of their leading scorers through this season.
So Maya Finkley scores the opening 2 points of the game for Syracuse. Boston College goes to work. We'd expect this to be a high-scoring game. These two teams near the top of the conference in offense, near the bottom on defense. Taylor Ortlett misses the 3. Boston College dead last defensively. Syracuse only 13th of 15. Mangakahia missed the layup, and the ball's out off Syracuse.
And it doesn't matter if there's a make or a miss. Syracuse is going to look to run the ball, and that starts with Mangakahia, as we just saw with the tough miss.
One of the things Joanna Burnaby McNamee said is because Syracuse plays zone, they're able to preserve some energy on defense, which allows Mangakahia to go pedal to the metal with the basketball whenever she has it. High pass from Sydney Lowry is over the top of Emma Guy. It's a Boston College turnover.
One of the keys for Boston College is going to be limiting those turnovers, and those unforced turnovers they cannot afford to have if they're going to pull out an upset.
Get a close look at Tiana Mangakahia. She leads the nation, 8.5 assists per game, also scores nearly 17 per. Once again, 4 points away from 1,000 in just 2 years with Syracuse. Digna Stratmana to the outside for Miranda Drummond, the redshirt senior, 3-point specialist, misses her first today.
And in their first matchup just a few weeks ago, Miranda Drummond started the game 6 for 7 from the 3-point line.
Marnell Gerard misses her 3-pointer. The ball's out of bounds. Carrie, this is the second meeting. Syracuse won the first by 27. What are your keys today?
That's leading me right into my keys. And for Syracuse, it's going to be rebounding the basketball. They've really struggled against some of the higher teams to rebound the ball and then coming out on the attack. They need to play all 4 quarters just as consistent as they have And for BC, it's going to be guarding the perimeter. As I said, Miranda Drummond started the game with 6 for 7 from the three-point line. They're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. They need to defend on the perimeter.
Ball in toward Guy is stripped away. So far, Syracuse has adjusted well from the first meeting, limiting Guy's touches. Stratmane off the mark. Ignis Stratmane's shot empty. Syracuse recycles it to Mangakahia. Carrie Joanna Burnaby-McNamee said that the focus all week was guarding that three-point line against Syracuse. Didn't do it well the first time. Mangakahia misses the long two.
And the Eagles played mostly zone in that first matchup, and Burnaby-McNamee said they're going to try to push that man-to-man defense to be able to guard the perimeter. And you're going to see a lot of switching of screens as well.
A little slower pace than the 96-69 first meeting. Just 2 points over the first 2.5 minutes today. Eagles still trying to get on the board as Gerard misses the floater. Michaela Dickens will check in at the next whistle.
And Taylor Ortlip, the point guard for the Eagles, did not play in that first matchup, and she's really been their offensive spark that they've needed, and so they're going to need her to provide something in today's game. That
Ortlip injury precipitated what's become a 7-game losing streak for Boston College. Syracuse coming off the win against Florida State. Mangakahia is looking for contact, no whistle, as her fellow Australian, Taylor Ortlip, shut her off. Taylor Soule pushing with speed, draws contact, and she'll shoot 2 free throws. Foul on Amaya Finkley.
Taylor Soule is a freshman who's really earned her way into this starting lineup. She's 3rd in scoring in ACC play with 10 points per game, but going up strong and chance for 2.
She's the most athletic player on this Boston College team, and Janet Burnaby-McNamee has said if she continues to develop and get better with the fundamentals, she'll not just be a good player, she'll be a good ACC player, and that is a distinction, because you can be good and still struggle in the ACC. You need to be really good to be a good ACC player.
And she's led the Eagles with free throw attempts as well, and something she really struggled with in the beginning of the season, one of the lowest percentages, but over the last 5 games, she shot 83%, and I know I just jinxed her.
That's usually my job.
That's a broadcasting jinx on that one, but just to see her be able to grow and get better in that set shows she's really committed.
Inside Finkley, turning on Soule. She traveled. Taylor Soule providing the spark. She and Sydney Lowry doubled big Amaya Finkley and forced the Syracuse turnover. Slow start on offense for the Orange. They are 0 for their last 5, haven't scored in more than 3 minutes. And a guy facing up. Strong defense from Gabby Cooper. Guy answers back and scores. 30 the first time these teams met. She has her first 2 today.
And that's what the Eagles were able to do well in that first matchup, was getting the ball inside against that zone, really exposing the middle of the court and getting some options for Guy inside.
Lowry picking up Mangakahia. Guy gets a hand on the pass and knocks it out of bounds. Emma Guy told us this is a game she always gets up for. Grew up in Penfield, New York, which is outside of Rochester, about an hour west of Syracuse. So always excited to play the Orange. Drummond past Ortlip, nifty move for 2. There's that full court pressure from Syracuse, nearly forcing a turnover. Quentin Hillsman at the Cuse is taking some things from Jim Boeheim with the 2-3 zone. One thing he does that you don't see very often with the Syracuse men's basketball team is starting a full court pressure and then drop back into that zone.
Yep, and you're going to see a lot of this full court pressure throughout the game.
Leads to a turnover. Steal from Kiera Lewis. Kiki Lewis missed the layup and commits a foul on the rebound. The first on Lewis, the second Syracuse foul.
Syracuse is one of the top teams in turnovers forced per game at 20 right now, but they're able to do that with that full court pressure.
Lewis, maybe the best player coming off the bench for Syracuse, along with Maeva Jaldi-Tabdi. Those two average a combined 18 a game off the bench. Quentin Hillsman told us before the game he thinks the bench is maybe the biggest reason Syracuse has played well this year. They get a lot out of their bench group.
And also keep some fresh legs when you're playing that full court press to be able to get some action off the bench, as another unforced turnover by the Eagles.
That was a fastball from Dickens, high, wide, and handsome. Boston College has turned it over 4 times already today. Mangakahia working off a couple of ball screens. Mangakahia missed the layup. Did a good job getting to the rim, just didn't finish. Inside, Jaldi Tabdi had her pass broken up. Boston College steal. There's Dickens off the hesitation. Well contested layup. Ball is spilled off Digna Stratmana. Possession stays with Syracuse, with Boston College.
And I really like that attack by Michaela Dickens, who didn't stop when she saw two players in front of her, went up hard, just couldn't finish that one.
5 minutes in, 4-3 lead for Syracuse. Ball comes back to Guy.
This is a Boston College team that's usually known for their three-point shooting, but have really struggled as of late, as Sol with another great take inside on the left side of the basket.
So if you're struggling from the outside, what do? You get to the rim. 3 points for Taylor Sol. Boston College back on top. That's a travel. Boy, Syracuse is out of sorts on offense early today. Boston College gave up 96 to the Orange the first time they faced him, but they also got 30 points from Emma Guy. She has 2 early today, with BC leading.
The first meeting was, we have to knock down shots when we're open, and on the flip side, we can't allow them. Our whole game plan initially was to try to run them off the three-point line, but you wouldn't think that when we watched them play. So we made a few adjustments, so hopefully we give a different look this game, but it should be, I hope, a faster pace where we're keeping up with them in the fast pace. I thought at their place, we let the emotions get the best of us when we got down, and we stopped working as hard as we could have.
Well, so far so good for Joanna Burnaby-McNamee's team. Boston College up 5-4. Carrie, you talked about it a bit. The biggest adjustment from game 1 to game 2 for BC is they're playing man-to-man defense. That man-to-man defense has held Syracuse to 2 of 9 shooting and forced 5 turnovers.
Yep, and Syracuse really lit them up from the three-point line in that first matchup, but Burnaby-McNamee said there had to be a better concentration, the mental concentration on the defensive end to know where shooters are.
Milan Bolden-Morris is a shooter. She has a 3.
And I said it a little bit earlier, but the Eagles have struggled from beyond the three-point line, shooting less than 20% in the last 5 games. So if they can come out and really extend that defense by hitting some shots, that'll be big for the Eagles.
Kajiatu Sizoku scores for Syracuse. Quentin Hillsman's been frustrated. He's already gone pretty deep down his bench, bringing Isis Young and Sizoku in. BC coming off a bye. They haven't played since last Sunday when they fell by 36 to Louisville in a game where even with that scoreline, Joanna Burnaby-McNamee said she thought BC played with good energy and got back to what they do well. Dickens off the mark from 3, rebound Stroutmana.
And I think sometimes when you're playing one of the best teams in the country, as Louisville on the road, but still to be able to come out with positive thoughts and really happy with her team's effort.
Heck of a pass from Dickens. Pinot came up empty. Milan Bolden Morris called for a foul. And, you know, teams you can ask about where you'd like your bye to be in the ACC season. Some teams want it early, some teams want it in the middle. For Boston College, it's worked out very well that it came when it did. First off, so many freshmen that play, you almost hit that freshman wall, gave them a chance to catch their breath. Secondly, Joanna Burnaby-McNamee said it was a huge week to build confidence back. She thought the confidence had been a bit rattled during the 7-game losing streak. Said after a couple hard days of practice, they really tried to build the team up before today's matchup.
You said it, it's the confidence that they need, and this is one of the youngest teams in the country. This would usually be a senior day for most teams, but they're playing with no seniors. But really, they just need to get that confidence back on both sides of the court.
Meanwhile, Syracuse is 0 for 3 from 3, 3 of 12 overall, and still trailing by 2. Drummond intercepts the pass from Dickens. Already Michaela Dickens' 3rd turnover. Full out of steam for Kiki Lewis. She lost it. Syracuse has turned it over 6 times already today as well. Against that 2-3 Syracuse zone, Ortlep is free for 3. Too strong. The Latvian Stroutmana to the inside. Finkley gets the soft roll. From Dorchester, played at Noble and Greenough, a school that's produced some great basketball players and some phenomenal hockey players as well. Ortlep wide open again. This one's good.
And Ortlep, who's been one of the best three-point shooters for the Eagles, has missed a few games from that ankle injury, but has come back, and they really need her to shoot well to be able to stay in these games. She's
the heart and soul of this team as well, provides so much energy. Drummond going inside, draws the foul. It's a second on Milan Bolden Morris. It's been an interesting approach from Miranda Drummond, known as a big-time three-point shooter. Missed a couple there, so she's gone to the rim as a layup, and now 2 free throws. Drummond is a good free throw shooter, 82% on the year. Redshirt senior from Binghamton, New York. Binghamton only about an hour south of Syracuse, but she took a 3-hour west detour to start her career. Went to St. Bonaventure for a couple of seasons, then transferred to Syracuse. Four points from Miranda Drummond. It's a Boston College 1-point lead. The Orange turn the full court pressure up. Here's Dickens. Near steal for Drummond. The wings are super aggressive in this Syracuse zone defense, a defense that's meant to lead to traps and force turnovers.
They do a really good job of being active with their hands and getting in passing lanes, which is why they're able to create so many live ball turnovers. That's where the Eagles really have to take advantage of their ball fakes and moving the ball quickly to make their defense rotate.
Comes the interior and Guy. Backing in on Jaldi Tabdi. Emma Guy has scored 2 more. She likes this matchup.
And I love the patience that she has in the post.
30 when these teams played about a month ago. She scored 4 in the first quarter today. It's a blocking foul. Good move by Kiara Lewis. Taylor Ortlep's tagged for her first. Free throws coming for Lewis. Another transfer, started her career at Ohio State before coming to Syracuse. Lewis was an AAU teammate of Syracuse's Gabby Cooper, so that was part of the reason that when she wanted to leave Ohio State, Syracuse ended up being the destination. Though there is a bit of a Columbus to Syracuse pipeline. You might remember Alexis Peterson, who was a great point guard for Syracuse before Manga Kahia. She was also an Ohio State transfer.
That's what, even though Gabrielle Cooper is just a junior, she actually has the most starting experience for Syracuse because of the transfers that Syracuse has for the seniors.
And the starting lineup Syracuse has this season is basically the same starting lineup as last year. Very little movement. Ortlep for another three. Rebound down to Cooper. Soule tries to tie her up, and Cooper just rips it away. That's turned over. Ball bounces out of bounds off the hands of Raven Fox, getting an early appearance. That's Syracuse turnover number 7.
Burnaby McNamee has to be happy with the Eagles' first 10 minutes of defensive play. They're really active on the defensive end and doing a good job of committing to those switches 1 through 5 and keeping Syracuse in front of them.
So far, the adjustment to go man-to-man has played out well for Boston College. The Eagles are dead last in the ACC. They give up 73 points per game. They've only allowed 10 so far today. Gerard, who's going up against her high school teammate Finkley, works it inside. Dickens, tough floater. That's good. Michaela Dickens is one of those weird players who makes the tougher shots more often than she makes the routine shots.
Hey, she likes the pressure.
Largest lead today for Boston College, up 5 on Syracuse. Coach Q is apoplectic. Manga Kahia is fouled. So with 6 seconds to go in the quarter, Tiana Mangakahia finally has a chance to score for the first time.
You have to think, what makes Mangakahia one of the best point guards in the country, and it's that she's always playing on the attack. It doesn't matter if they're in the half court, they're in the full court, she's always looking for opportunities to score, which also leads to some easy buckets for her teammates.
Weirdly, she has not scored much against Boston College at all this year. In that 96-69 win, she scored only 5 points at the Carrier Dome. It's not to say she had a bad game. She had 13 assists in that one. Attorney Burnaby McNamee said it wasn't so much that we kept her from scoring, it's that she chose not to score. She chose to set up assists. Off the steal, Mangakahi at the buzzer, bangs it in. That's a heck of a way to get to 1,000 career points. 1,001 for Tiana Mangakahia. And after all that, Syracuse is tied with Boston College at the end of quarter number 1. Mangakahia, the fastest player in Syracuse history to 1,000 career points, kisses the glass at the first quarter buzzer. At the end of quarter number 1, Syracuse 15, Boston College 15. Tiana Mangakahia scored 5 points over the final 6 seconds of the quarter, including a buzzer beater. That's one way to go over 1,000 in your career.
I don't know if she called the bank on this, but what a way to end the first quarter for Syracuse. And really kills any sort of momentum that the Eagles had going into the second quarter, but once again showing why Mangakahia is one of the best players in the country. 1,000
career points for Tiana Mangakahia, including 44 last game. She's gotten that 1,000 point mark at Syracuse in just 60 games. Fastest player in Syracuse history to get there. She's a junior. She spent 1 year in junior college. Those points don't count on the way to 1,000 here, but because she will at most spend 3 years at Syracuse, she's unlikely to pass Kayla Alexander as the all-time leading scorer for the Orange for more than 2,000 career points. But it's been a heck of a 2 years for Tiana Mangakahia. Michaela Dickens driving in. Good feed for Guy, recollecting 2 more. Emma Guy has scored 6 in the early part of today's game. Every time you look at the Syracuse bench, Quentin Hillsman's just shaking his head right now. Mangakahia is off the mark, but she follows her miss. She's taken 7 shots already today. Sol picks her up. And Mangakahia turns it over. Steal for Dickens.
That was great defense by Sol, who switched on to Mangakahia, but kept her in front of her and did not foul, forcing that turnover.
Guy is free inside, sealing off Stroutmana.
And that started with a great pass inside by Ortlip, who just led Guy for an easy 2.
Oh, Boston College could have lost all the momentum after that buzzer beater. They've come out good in the second quarter with back-to-back buckets. Off-ball foul on Taylor Sol. Eagle defense been very good against one of the ACC's top offenses.
And you could see there's more of a concentrated effort on this end of the court, and Sol does a great job of keeping Mangakahia in front of her, forcing that turnover by Dickens.
She has the athleticism to stick with players like Mangakahia. Stroutmana into a double team. Mangakahia step back, short. Dickens cleans it up. BC looking to run 3-on-1. What a play by Mangakahia, breaking it up and banging it out off Lowry. That's remarkable.
Yeah, and I think she's the one used to pushing the ball in transition. She was able to read that play and force that turnover by Dickens.
Mangakahia, junior from Brisbane, Australia. Different part of the country than Taylor Ortlip and Georgia Pinot. So she's also nearly 25 years old. Not a whole lot of familiarity outside of what they've done in ACC play, even though they're all from Australia. Mangakahia, too strong. Dickens cleans up the rebound. Next stop for Mangakahia after this season will be Olympic tryouts for Australia's senior national team. She'll have a legitimate shot. Sol missed inside. Offensive board goes to Taylor Sol.
And she still has 1 year of eligibility left for Syracuse, but still can also decide to declare for the WNBA draft. Has not decided as of yet.
Stroutmana for 3. Digna Stroutmana, sophomore from Riga, Latvia, hits her first today. Lowry stop and pop the other way. It's an air ball. Well short. First 3 to fall for Syracuse. They make close to 9 a game. I beg your pardon, second 3. I forgot about that buzzer beater for Mangakahia. The first 3 in the run of play for Syracuse today.
I'll say there are not many 6'3" forwards who can step out to the three-point line and catch and shoot on a consistent basis like Stroutmana can, just as a sophomore.
Stroutmana first caught Quentin Hillsman's eyes when she was playing for youth national teams in Latvia. Big 3 goes down. Miranda Drummond knocks down her first. Syracuse back on top. Quentin Hillsman actually coached the Dutch youth team at some international competitions, and that's where he first saw Stroutmana. Pinot attacking Stroutmana. Way off. Syracuse scored 6 straight. Mangakahia shimmy, shake, and score. It's an 8-0 Syracuse run.
I asked Coach Hillsman before the game. We knew that she was an unbelievable player last season, but what has really made her growth to be even better? And he said it's her versatility and her ability just always to be on the attack on both ends of the court. And hey, she sees Lowry in front of her. It doesn't stop her from staying on the attack and finishing strong.
That's the thing, she's a point guard who can score, but she leads the country with 8 assists. Emma Guy is already into double figures. Might give her career high 30 from the first time these teams played a run for its money today.
And she's been one of the most consistent field goal percentages in the conference, shooting at 56% from the field, but starting out this game strong.
Strautmann takes advantage of the 6 inches of height she had on her guard there, showing her versatility. There's that word again, scoring both inside and out.
That's the tough part for the Eagles, switching 1 through 5. You're going to get those matchups, and that was a good job by Syracuse of recognizing that.
10 to shoot for Boston College, trailing by 4. With 5 to shoot, Guy stripped. Shot clock still winding with 2. Guy throws it up, and it's travel. Oh, that got out of hand at the end of that possession. Michaela Dickens come back in for Boston College. Had that really hot streak, kind of culminating with the huge game against Duke when she hit a buzzer beater to force overtime and then hit a double overtime game winner. Since then, she's only averaging 5.8 points per game. And Joanna Burnaby McNamee said, you know, at that point where some of the freshmen have hit their freshman wall, you hope that the week off that this team just had maybe reinvigorated them. Kiara Lewis inside draws a foul on Guy.
And Burnaby McNamee said before the game, for most of these freshmen, they're not used to losing games. They come in off of high school careers where they're winning most of their games, and now playing in the top conference in the country, it's hard to get used to that losing, but still motivating yourself. And Dickens is someone they really need to play well on a consistent basis.
Free throws for Kiki Lewis, and she missed the first. Lewis is 0 for 3 from the line so far today. Only a 68% free throw shooter. Ortlep in, out goes Lowry for Boston College. And Lewis is 0 for 4 from the line now. Good pressure from Lewis and Drummond. Foul goes on Lewis, that's her second.
You can tell she's not happy with that 0 for 4 mark either, but one of the reasons why she is the best player off of the bench for Syracuse is her ability to pressure the ball hard and force those turnovers.
Also, strong enough point guard that they can give Manga Kahia some time on the bench. Georgia Pinot rings the bell for her first 2 today. Saying as good as Manga Kahia is, because Syracuse has depth, she only has to play about 30 minutes a game. Helps keep her fresh for late in the season. Strautmann in the paint, spinning in on Pinot. Georgia Pinot is tagged with her first foul.
That was a great job by Strautmann to call for the ball with confidence, go up strong and force that foul for a chance for 2.
Midway point of the second quarter, it's a good one so far. Syracuse ahead by 2. Syracuse by 2. Boston College coming in off a 7-game losing streak. It started when Taylor Ortleb went down with an ankle injury against Virginia Tech late. Eagles lost that game, then lost the next 6. Ortleb's been back for a couple, but BC hasn't found the offensive rhythm it had before Ortleb's injury. What are some of the things they can do here today and heading to the ACC tournament to get back to an offense that had been very good during most of the season?
I think one of the biggest keys for the Eagles is that their best offense this season has come from their defense and really forcing those turnovers and rebounding the basketball, giving themselves extra opportunities to score and shoot higher percentage shots. And I think that they really got away from that concentration on defense. So they've done a great job here in these first 15 minutes of the game versus Syracuse, but also just attacking the rim, getting to the basket. They've seen a lot of success when they've gotten the ball in the middle of the zone and shooting those higher percentage shots.
Syracuse struggling from the free throw line after Strautmana's 2 misses. They're just 4 for 10, but Miranda Drummond finds the rebound. Extra possession for Syracuse, leading by 2. 17th ranked Orange coming in off one of their biggest wins of the season, beating Florida State Thursday night in Tallahassee. Strautmana off the mark. It's another offensive board. Lewis missed on the 3rd effort. Strautmana will give Syracuse a 4th try. They are the 3rd best offensive rebounding team in the conference. And even on try 4, the Orange come up empty as Cooper couldn't corral the pass from Sissoko.
And you can see Coach Hillsman not happy with that possession, giving themselves 4 extra opportunities to score. BC really got away with that one.
You never need to wonder what Quentin Hillsman's thinking. He's a stylish guy, but he also wears his emotions on his sleeves. 2-point lead for Syracuse. Boston College is led by as much as 5. The Orange have led by as much as 4.
We'll see Syracuse going back to a man-to-man defense.
Pinot left it short. You don't see that often from this Syracuse team. Again, they've embraced kind of that same philosophy as Jim Boeheim on the men's side with the 2-3 zone for Quentin Hillsman. Strautmana cans a 3. She has a quick release.
That was a great pass, but in motion, just a catch and shoot 3. But you have to know that she's a 3-point shooter. Got to get up close on her, not allow for her to shoot that shot. That's a different matchup for Emma Guy, who's used to guarding forwards in the post.
Now there's an advantage inside on offense for Guy as well. She has scored 12. So it's a matchup when Strautman is playing center that kind of suits both teams on offense. It's a tough guard for Guy defensively for Boston College, but she can use her strength on the offensive end to take advantage there.
And she's done a great job of really fighting for position and getting the ball in a place where it's easier for her to score.
Syracuse's lead is 3. Sissoko runs into trouble. Georgia Pinot takes it away. 10 turnovers for Syracuse already. Dickens off the dribble. That's where she's at her best.
That's when she's looking for her shot. Coming off that screen, little pop-up mid-range jumper. Sometimes you just need to see the ball go through the basket to get that confidence back in your shot.
In a battle in the first half. The second game of the year. Syracuse won the first by 27. Lewis's shots blocked. Pinot there. Again, look back at that first game. Syracuse scored 96 points. They shot close to 60% from the floor. Today, they're only shooting 40%. They've turned it over 10 times, and they're on pace for only about 60 points.
And the difference is they've changed to the man-to-man defense, and they've done a better job of guarding the perimeter and defending without fouling, staying in front of Syracuse's players.
Jaldi Tabdi comes up empty. Boston College has a chance to go back in front with a bucket on this trip. Guy follows her miss, left it short, and the ball bounces out off Emma Guy. Only her 2nd and 3rd misses of the entire game. It's the final game of the regular season. Boston College looking like they'll be the 13 seed in the ACC tournament. Syracuse, no matter what happens today, locked into the 5 seed. So if that's the case, this could be a possible day 2 matchup in the ACC tournament. Syracuse is the 5. Will get the winner of the 12-13 game on the 2nd day of the ACC tournament.
That's what I talked to Coach Hillsman before the game, and I said, how do you really get your team to bring the same sort of mentality as you did versus Florida State away, and then playing a team that you beat by a considerable amount in the first matchup? And he said, every game you have to come in with the same mentality, and the Eagles right now have nothing to lose, and Syracuse knows they're going into the tournament, but the Eagles have come out strong, ready to play, and really forcing them, which is why they're almost up by 1.
Soule misses after the blow-by. Dickens into the paint. Tough pass. Drummond stays in bounds. Off the 10th Boston College steal, Syracuse pushes. An offensive board and follow Jaldi Tabdi. Maeva Jaldi Tabdi, one of 2 French players on this Syracuse roster.
And that was Syracuse's 9th offensive rebound of the game.
Inside the final minute of the second quarter, Syracuse by 3. Just 10 to shoot for Boston College. Lowry attacks and hits. If Mangakahia pushes, Syracuse could go for a 2-for-1 here, but she'll instead elect to slow it down. Outside of those 5 points in the last 6 seconds of the first quarter, Mangakahia hasn't scored. Jaldi Tabdi traveled. Final possession of the half will belong to Boston College with a chance to take the lead. We will talk to Quentin Hillsman coming up in about 20 seconds time, and I can imagine he's not going to be all that happy.
And Syracuse has had some great shots inside. They just have not been able to finish.
Horn shooting just 37% in the first half. Five to shoot. Guy with 2, well off the mark, and that does it for half number 1. It's just a 1-point lead for the 17th ranked Orange of Syracuse, 30-29 at the half. "12 points for Emma Guy to lead Boston College. Digma Stroutmana's 8 lead Syracuse at the half. Quentin Hillsman nice enough to join us. Coach Q pops on the headset. Q, first time you played, Boston College scored 96 points. What's been the biggest difference in the first half so far today?
They're playing fantastic. I mean, they're running the floor and they're getting into their sets early, and that's what we need to guard against. We can let them come on the court and play comfortable.
What can you do adjustments-wise on offense heading into the second half?
Well, it's not really about our offense; it's about our defense. We got to make some shots. You know, we got to make some shots to be able to get into our pressure. And right now, we were playing in too many unsettled situations.
All right, thanks, Q. Good luck in the second half.
All right, thank you.
Quentin Hillsman, the 17th ranked Syracuse Orange, with a 1-point lead at the half, 30-29. We've got ourselves a good one in the final game of the regular season from Conti. We're at the half of today's ACC matchup between Boston College and 17th ranked Syracuse. We've had a lot of fun bringing you BC Heads Up these last few months, and we hope you have enjoyed it as much as we have. The Eagles showed us their wonderful personalities and senses of humor, and we thought there'd be no better way to wrap up our inaugural season than with some of the most amusing moments from the competition.
You're gonna say a type of bird in New York City?
I said a penguin.
Harry?
Other one.
What's the other one? Charles? Charles? Peter?
Like a rabbit without ears.
Harry? I said that already.
Last name. No.
All right. It's William. It was William!
Damn it! Oh! Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear.
Not red, but something alcohol. Not red. The other color that's
Green, blue, yellow.
alcohol.
One of them was wallaby. I don't even know what that is.
Rock, rock, rock!
It's like, oh, what the hell? How'd you not get that? Our topic that we're starting out with is food fight.
This is a bird with a really big beak.
The one in Finding Nemo.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
Did we not get one?
Go. Captain America.
Oh my god, we didn't get one.
I know.
We beat golf.
The food that you say weird that I always joke about was
Salmon.
yeah.
Baby, 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 oh. It wasn't too bad.
Singer, married to Jay-Z.
Tyler!
I am your father.
Wow, you're bad at this.
I suck.
Should I flip it?
Oh, this is they're really annoying insects. They're
Bugs,
really
gnats.
small.
Centipedes.
No, they crawl.
Ants.
Oh my god.
Pass.
You would have got that.
We didn't get any again! Oh my god!
I need to go to class.
Congratulations to women's lacrosse for winning our inaugural BC Heads Up Championship, and we're still pulling for a men's golf redemption episode in hopes they can get at least 1 point before the school year ends. Some ACC bracketology in the second half of our matinee between Syracuse and Boston College coming your way next on ACC Network Extra. We welcome you back inside the Conti Forum in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, where it is halftime between Boston College and Syracuse. Hi again, everybody. Welcome back to our courtside spot with Carrie Shields. I'm Bill Spalding. It's the final day of the regular season, and sometimes it's fun to look back at predictions and see what did we get right and what did we get wrong. In this case, the we is ACC coaches, of which I am not one of the we, but still, we're going to analyze what they predicted and where we're at. Up top, they got things right. It didn't really go out on a limb. Notre Dame looks like they're on their way to being the #1 overall seed. Syracuse picked third. They'll finish in the 5 spot. But overall, it was a relatively accurate job of the coaches prognosticating.
Yeah, it's pretty right on most terms, but Boston College really exceeding expectations. They're looking to be ranked in the 13th spot, so doing more than what the coaches thought they were expected to do in Bernie McNamee's first year.
The tournament starts on Thursday. If things stay as they are entering today, Boston College would play Virginia. That'd be a rematch of a really competitive game. Then they may end up playing Syracuse again. Syracuse is locked into the 5 seed no matter what happens today.
Yes, and that was a close game versus Virginia for Boston College. One game they really thought got away from them, so it'd be a good matchup for the first round. And then Syracuse, they're going to come out here and play them today. So to play a team 3 times is never an easy task.
Be a lot of fun in Greensboro in a few days. You can catch all of that starting on March 6th. We'll be back with the second half when we come back to Conti Forum.
15 teams, all bringing their A game to Greensboro in March. And with them, they will bring moments of excitement, passion, pride, moments that create memories, and moments that crown a champion. Bring your A game, Greensboro, because you know they will. The 2019 ACC Women's Basketball Tournament at the Greensboro Coliseum, March 6th through 10th. Get your tickets now.
Back at Conti Forum, getting set for half number 2. Joanna Burnaby, McNamee's Eagles in this one, down just 1 to 17th-ranked Syracuse. Final day of the ACC season. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard as we try to figure out who is where come the end of the day in the ACC. One thing we do know for sure now, Notre Dame, with their win, will be the #1 seed. Louisville, though, looks like on their way to punching a co-regular season championship. Both teams will finish at 14-2 as long as Louisville holds that lead over Pittsburgh.
And how about North Carolina with a loss to Duke, a team that came out and beat #1 Notre Dame at the time, but also NC State, Miami. That'll be a great game. Looking to see the finish of that one.
Duke's finishing strong. They've won 3 games over the last 5, trying to build momentum heading into the ACC tournament. Half number 1, the story was Boston College's defense really limiting a Syracuse offense that is generally very good.
And the Eagles came out ready to play today, and that started on the defensive end. They've done a great job of keeping Syracuse in front of them while they've been playing on the attack, and Taylor Soule has been one of the big reasons why. You see Georgia Pinot just keeping them in front and also doing a good job of not failing and putting them to the free throw line.
Heltiana Mangakakia to only 7 points. She's coming off 44 her last time. Syracuse as a team shot just 11 of 30 from the floor. That's 37%. They also turned it over 11 times, much to the chagrin of Quentin Hillsman. ESPN and the ACC bring you ACC Network coming August 2019. 15 universities all on one network. Visit getaccn.com to learn more. Going to be a great network for this conference. 1,300 events will be covered annually, including the defending national champion Clemson Tigers will play the first football game on the network on August 29th. With Carrie Shields, Bill Spalding, glad to be with you from this one. The calendar is flipped to March. That's when things get particularly fun in college basketball. ACC tournament starts Thursday. Boston College looking for a major upset to try and head into that tournament with momentum and snap a 7-game losing streak. They're within 1 as we start the third quarter.
Yep, and Bernie McNamee said before the game, they really just need to build their confidence back. And coming off those 7 losses in the past 3 weeks, this is a great chance for them to really build some momentum going into ACC play.
With a win today and a win in the first round of the ACC tournament, Boston College could guarantee a 500 record this year. That'd be big for a couple of reasons. One of them would be it would make them eligible for the WNIT, the postseason. Foul off the miss from Cooper, a rebounding foul against Stratmana. That's Digna Stratmana's first, and Boston College holds on the opening possession of the second half. For the Eagles in the first half, their offense ran through Emma Guy. She scored 12 of Boston College's 29. Remember, she scored 30 against Syracuse when the teams played at the Dome about a month ago.
She's 6 for 9 from the field, but the Eagles have done a good job of getting the ball inside her in positions for her to score.
Clean look, Sydney Lowry. Missed the three-pointer. Mangakahia, who's limited to 7 first-half points, is heavy on the gas. The second half where Mangakahia took off on Thursday. Strautmana's pass is taken away. Syracuse turnover number 12. In that game where Mangakahia scored 44. She scored 33 in the second half Thursday against Florida State.
I don't think people realize how hard that actually is, but it shows where she's been able to elevate her game, being able to be a consistent three-point shooter, and also just playing on the attack. Strautmana has been unbelievable from beyond the arc today. That's her third three.
Digna Strautmana's leading Syracuse 11 points. Orange go up 4.
This is one of the best three-point shooting teams in Syracuse in the conference, but when you have all 4 guards and then your 6'2" center being able to come in and catch and shoot the ball as consistently as she does is big for them.
Sol and Guy weren't on the same page there. That's turnover number 10 for Boston College. Even though Mangakahia has been limited to 7 points, she does have 3 assists today. Mangakahia to the rim, there's 2 more. And very quickly, we'll get a timeout from Joanna Burnaby-McNamee. Stops play just 1:51 into the third quarter. Syracuse has its largest lead of this game, up by 6. Sophomore Digna Strautmana from Riga, Latvia has been known as a good inside-outside threat for Syracuse today. She's been particularly good on the outside with 3 threes.
And she's been unbelievable from beyond the arc, but how quick of a shot does she have? Just catching and shooting the ball at 6'2". It's been tough for Emma Guy. You gotta get closer on her, get a hand up, but she's really kept them with this lead in this game.
She was Latvia's best player at the most recent FIBA U20 Worlds, averaging 19 points per game against very good competition. This season, she scores about 9 a game in her sophomore year at Syracuse. Out of the halftime locker room, it's a 5-0 Syracuse run. The Orange have extended their lead to a game-high 6.
And they've also once again extended their defensive pressure, full court man-to-man.
No baskets yet for Boston College this half. What can they do to get Emma Guy touches in good spots?
Well, right now, Syracuse is back in their 2-3 zone. You got to get her the ball inside.
Milan Bolden Morris ends the Boston College drought.
Bolden Morris coming in off the bench. She's now 2 for 2 from 3.
That's what she does best. Good three-point shooter in her 2 years at Boston College. Mangakahia. Eagles stay with her off the screen. Maya Finkley is called for an offensive foul. Trying to create space, the sophomore from nearby Dorchester tagged with her second foul.
Quentin Hillsman was not happy with that call.
So out of that Boston College timeout, Eagles have scored the first 3 points since. She's open again. Milan Bolden Morris left it short. Rebound rolled off Gabby Cooper's sneaker and straight to Emma Guy.
That is now Syracuse's 14th turnover of the game.
.15 to shoot for Boston College. Eagles been led by Emma Guy's 12 points today. With 8 to shoot, Lowry slashes in. Rebound Stroutman. Mangakahia on the accelerator. Forced back once again. We'll get a timeout from Quentin Hillsman, who's frustrated with this offense so far. So Quentin Hillsman takes his first time out of the game. Both coaches have taken a timeout early in this third quarter. Brings us to a timeout on the floor. 3 points, Syracuse lead at Conti Forum. Three-point lead for Syracuse over Boston College. Carrie, let's revisit your keys you gave us at the start of the game today. If we look at those keys, you'd think Syracuse would come way out on top because they are rebounding well, and Boston College hasn't guarded the perimeter all that well. Syracuse shooting 50% from three. But it's a three-point game, so how has Boston College stayed in it?
It's been their defense, and I said Syracuse had to come out in the attack, but BC did a great job of coming out strong, and that started on the defensive end. They've really been able to limit their easy shots inside, but also get easy options in full court, as Mangakahia just on point.
It's a friendly roll for Tiana Mangakahia, now the leading scorer with 12. She's already gone over 1,000 points in her career today, did it on a buzzer beater at the end of the first quarter. So once again, it's a 6-point lead for Syracuse, matching the Orange's largest of this game. Guy lost it, recollects, and she's fouled. Third foul on Amaya Finkley. The sophomore center will likely have to leave the game.
And that's where the Eagles' best offense has come from, when it's gotten touches to Guy inside. She now is 12 points, 6 for 10. But she's done a great job of sticking with the ball, staying with the matchup, and going up strong, and forces the foul.
And Carrie, I beg your pardon, they gave the foul to Miranda Drummond, though when we saw the replay, I'm not quite sure how. That's a big break for Syracuse. It's the first on Drummond, and Finkley stays with 2 fouls. Still leaves the game. Emma Guy goes 1 for 2 from the line, up to 13 points. Syracuse by 5, 17th ranked Orange. And Boston College in the final game before the ACC tournament. Jaldi Tabdi's off the mark. Good defense from Guy. EC hanging around. This is a game that should instill some confidence heading to the ACC tournament and their opening game on Thursday.
You said it, they're still in competition to make that WNIT tournament and to be able to really build off of a solid win here.
Guy is free off the assist from Dickens.
And that was a great job by Guy, who really stood her position on the block, and Dickens led with a perfect pass to the basket, making it easy too.
Manga Kahia fouled on the floor. Goes on Sydney Lowry, her first. Mention that WNIT. Now to get there, Boston College will need at least one upset. They'll either need to beat Syracuse today or beat them after winning a game in the ACC women's basketball tournament. If they can get to 500, they should have a very good shot to get into that tournament, which would be a huge step in BC's development in the first year for Coach Joanna Burnaby McNamee.
Yep, and right now this is a winnable game within 3, and also the ACC tournament. When you enter those kind of games, any team can win on it any night, but that would definitely help the confidence going in to postseason.
Reach-in foul goes on Michaela Dickens. In fact, a win today for Boston College would guarantee at worst they finish at 500. If they win this game, they'd be 15-14. So even if they lost the opening game of the ACC tournament, they'd still have a 500 overall record. Kiki Lewis inside is fouled again. There weren't all that many fouls in the first half. Whistles are coming out here in half 2. Emma Guy picks up her second. Free throws for Lewis.
That was a great dribble penetration by Lewis, who goes up strong, forces that body contact, and gives herself a chance for 2.
Remember, Kiki Lewis was 0 for 4 at the free throw line in the first half. She gets one to go here, first point of the game. That vaunted bench that Quentin Hillsman was talking to us about before the game has been kept almost completely off the board. Just 6 total bench points for Syracuse, 2 for Jaldi Tabdi, 2 for Lewis, and 2 for Sissoko.
But I'll tell you where that bench really helps is being able to get fresh legs in for this full court pressure.
Good pass from Dickens. It was risky. Guy saves it, and then it's turned over. Boston College turnover number 11. Cooper's pass to Stratmano was off the mark. Otherwise, she may have had another clean look at 3. Manga Kahia attacks Guy. Defended well. Rebounding foul on Syracuse. Maeva Jaldi Tabdi.
And one area that Eagles have really struggled with has been their turnovers. They already have 13 turnovers in today's game, and it's those kind of unforced turnovers that really have hurt them getting the ball inside. This is a Syracuse team who's going to take advantage of any mistakes that you make.
BC breaks the pressure. Dickens, tough shot for 2. 6 points for Michaela Dickens. Boston College once again is within 3. Lewis the other way, missed it. The long arms of Jaldi Tabdi keep it alive, and it's spilled. Milan Bolden Morris covered well by Stratmana. Syracuse does get back into that 2-3 zone defense. Soul contested and fouled. Maeva Jaldi Tabdi closed out too hard. It's a second foul on the redshirt freshman.
And that was a great job by the Eagles, who recognized that 2-3 zone, and what's open is the foul line. That was a good job by Sol, getting the ball up and forcing that foul. You never want to foul a jump shooter.
3 points for Sol. She's 1 for 2 from the line. One of 8 freshmen on the roster for Boston College out of West Lebanon, New Hampshire. Played in that same high school league, the NEPSAC, with all those great New England prep schools, as Marnell Girard and as Amaya Finkley, and a number of other great ACC players who've played in the NEPSAC as well. Sol, an empty possession at the line. Stays a 3-point game.
Neither team shooting well from the free throw line. BC right now shooting 33%, and Syracuse only shooting 50.
The heck of a pass from Mangakahia frees up Lewis to draw the foul. 2 more free throws for Kiera Lewis. Sydney Lowry picks up her second. But Mangakahia really almost always goes downhill.
I mean, it's amazing to see that she is just not fearful of any pressure. It doesn't matter who's guarding her. She's still playing on the attack, and when she's not open, she's getting one of her teammates open.
Lewis's free throw struggles continue. She's now just 2 for 7 today. Let's remember that when this game gets late, it comes down to free throw shooting. Now, the ace in the hole Syracuse has when it gets to the time where you intentionally foul, Tiana Mangakahia, amongst all the other things she does well, she leads the ACC in free throw percentage at 87%. Four-point Boston College lead. Eagles break that pressure once more. Does force you to burn at least a little bit of clock before you can set up against the zone. Dickens, pure! Oh, that was from Cambridge.
That was from downtown.
She is a confident player. Mangakahia is headed to the line. Michaela Dickens fouls her, and we'll get to see the ACC's top free throw shooter for 2.
What a shot by Dickens on the offensive end, who hits her first 3 of the game, but as you said, that was from Cambridge. Shooting nothing but net, but then comes down the other end. Not to be outdone.
Mangakahia knocks down the first. Got an 87% free throw shooter. Leading the ACC in assists with her 13 points today. She's up to 1,009 in her career.
Not to be outdone by last year, she also led the country in assists as well.
Started her career at Hutchinson's Community College, Midwest. 1 year there, 2 years at Syracuse. Noan Bolden Morris passed up a clean look at 3. Contested 2 is short. Jump ball will keep it with Boston College, so the arrow's gone out. Surprised that Bolden Morris didn't take that 3 the way she's been shooting.
Sometimes when you're feeling it, she's right now 2 for 2. You got to take those open shots.
Nobody covered Georgia Pinot on the inbound. BC steals 2 there.
That was a good job for the Eagles, taking advantage of Syracuse's miscommunication on defense for an easy 2.
Tiana Mangakahia. Up to 16. And Boston College turns it over. Joanna Burnaby-McNamee signaling to her freshman Michaela Dickens with 2 hands, palms down, as if to say, hey, slow down, relax. Theme all year for Boston College has been to play fast but not rush. When you rush, that's when you make the mistakes.
Yep, and Syracuse wants teams to play rush. They want to force as many turnovers as they can, and you can't push the ball. This is where they need to take care of the ball and give themselves more opportunities on the offensive end.
Offensive rebound in the corner ends up with Lewis. That is already Syracuse's 12th offensive rebound today. Plenty of time left in the shot clock. Lewis in, past Girard. Heady play.
What a move by Lewis, just backing down Girard and making a nice little post move inside.
So Syracuse's lead back to 5. The Orange have never led by more than 6. Boston College at one point led by 5. So this game's been between 6 points one way or the other the whole way. Marnell Gerard missed the 3. Another one of those freshmen who's kind of hit a wall, looking for that second burst late in a long season. Syracuse looking to slow things down for the first time in a while. Still 10 to shoot. And a hand check goes against Emma Guy. It's on the floor, but Boston College already in the penalty, which means 2 more free throws for Tiana Mangakahia.
And until this quarter, the Eagles have done a good job with defending without fouling, but Mangakahia saw the mismatch against Emma Guy, went on the attack, and now another chance for 2.
And she makes the first, so perfect 3 for 3 from the line. And she leads the ACC in assists, leads the country in assists, leads the ACC in free throw shooting, 4th in the conference in steals, 9th in points per game. There's a lot of talk about Asia Durr and Arike Agunbowale as player of the year in the ACC. And one of those two will probably win it for a number of reasons. First off, those are the 2 teams that will win the league. Secondly, points just are what a lot of people look at when they vote. But hard to see a player making a bigger impact than Tiana has this year, as Michaela Dickens draws a foul. Where would your vote go at this point in the year?
I mean, those are 3 unbelievable players we've been lucky enough to see, both Asia Durr and Agunbowale in Conti Forum, but as you said, their impact scoring-wise is unlike any other player in the country, but Mangakahia is showing she doesn't have to score, and I think that's what really makes her special. There have been games where she's had, 5, 10 points, but has had 13, 12 assists, which has really made her impact so much stronger as a point guard.
I'm putting you on the spot, though. Who are you picking of the 3? I haven't cast my vote yet. Persuade me.
To be honest, right now, I think it's going to come down to tournament play, and I think we're going to have the chance to see Notre Dame against Louisville, and Notre Dame took that first matchup. But Asia Durr, who's coming off an unbelievable senior game where she had 44 points as well.
Here's the rub, though. The votes are due in the next couple of days before the ACC tournament,
Well,
so I have to decide.
Right there.
Yeah. Oh, what a pass. Mangakahia to Finkley. Syracuse up 9, their largest lead today.
I mean, her court vision is unlike any player that I've seen in recent times, and everyone on defense is looking to the left side of the court, and she sees the full court and just gets those easy buckets for her team.
Lowry's fouled, crashing in for the offensive board with Boston College in the bonus. She'll shoot free throws. Gabrielle Cooper's 3rd foul. 2 free throws for Sydney Lowry, who's a 75% free throw shooter. I'm still going to pry an answer out of you here. If I have to vote today, at the end of the regular season, which of those 3?
I think
if you were voting.
I think it's a tough call. I
know it's a tough call. That's why I'm asking you, Carrie.
I know. Right now, Agunbowale and Durr, I think it's going to come down in between those 2, and both leading the conference in scoring, but their 2 teams are also at the top of the conference and the top of the country, and I think it's hard to really argue when your team has more wins.
All right, so I've whittled you down from 3 to 2. Make that last move. You got 15
I can't give you one. I can't give you one.
10 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Syracuse holds for the final shot, leading by 8. Mangakahia, no. Rebound Lowry. And that'll do it for quarter number 3. Strong run for Syracuse to close out the half. Tiana Mangakahia leading the way. The Orange take an 8-point lead into quarter number 4 at Conti. Well, last game for Syracuse, Tiana Mangakahia scored 33 in the second half. Not quite on that pace here today, but 11 third-quarter points, helping Syracuse extend its lead to 8.
And I can't talk highly of her, more highly of her than I already have, but her ability to just stay on the attack and her court vision is unlike anything I've seen. And we talked to Burnaby McNamee before the game, and she mentioned watching film with her team, it's hard not to compliment her just by watching her game. And I think it's unbelievable how she just makes everyone on her team so much better, really elevates their game and her ability to just do whatever her team needs her to do.
And Joanna Burnaby McNamee was an All-American point guard at Liberty State. There's Stratmanev for 2 more. So she said she loves watching good point guards, but almost has to edit herself when watching film with the team here, because if you praise the opponent too much, your team starts thinking, hey, what about us? 10-point lead, first time today. Syracuse is led by 10. So the alarm bell's going for Boston College. They need to score, and score at a pretty good rate here in the fourth quarter to try and stick with Syracuse. Guy's been the best offensive player for the Eagles today, and she follows her miss with 2. Emma Guy has scored 17 for Boston College.
And even though Syracuse has out-rebounded Boston College, BC's been able to have 8 second-chance points. And that's something that Quentin Hillsman has really been edging to his team, the importance of rebounding in basketball.
Tiana Mangakahia to the 20-point mark. 13 in the second half. She just went right around Guy. A steal and finish. Kiara Lewis. Timeout, Boston College. Well, Tiana Mangakahia has gotten Syracuse going. Now her teammates following suit. Mangakahia and Lewis back to back. Cuse by 12 and rolling late at the Conti Forum. Boston College quarterback Anthony Brown, some of his Eagle football teammates in attendance. It was Combine Week, where one of the guys who made a lot of headlines was Eagle offensive lineman Chris Lindstrom at 310 pounds, running a 4.9, a 40-meter dash. That's just crazy. We're winding things down. The regular season tournament time coming up. If you look at bracketology right now on ESPN, Charlie Cream's bracketology has the ACC with 8 teams, tied with the SEC for the most teams heading to the NCAA tournament. That's if things were to end now. BC down 12 out of the timeout. Emma Geis headed to the free throw line.
That's what going into conference play or going into the season, Syracuse has was playing 17 teams that reached the postseason last year, and a lot of that has to do with the rankings within the ACC and how powerful they are, but incredible the type of season they've been able to have, being able to play that type of competition day in and day out.
Yep. Yeah, they played a really tough non-conference, Texas A&M. They played at some tournaments with some good opponents as well. My favorite part of the game notes for Syracuse that they put out to prepare for this game, though, you could tell that their athletic communication staff was just wishing for some better weather on their road trips. There was a note in there that every road trip for them this year, it has rained at every single road trip outside of when they went to Cancun, Mexico. It includes some trips to Florida. No rain today. It's been sunny, but they will be trying to race the snow back to Syracuse. Storm coming in late in the evening today.
And that was one of the best parts of traveling in the ACC, being in Boston, and I'm sure for Syracuse was the same thing, getting to go down to those more southern schools, getting out of this cold, snowy weather and down to some sun, but they have not had such luck this year.
Look, I've survived a lot of winters in Syracuse and upstate New York. You look forward to any chances for it to get warm. 11-point lead for Syracuse. Dickens for 3. Eagles need a few of those to fall late if they will mount the comeback. Ball is out off Syracuse. On the other end, Miranda Drummond just missed an open look at 3. If she hit that one, you'd have started to hammer some nails into the coffin. That's where we're at right now. BC needs a run here, or else this game could get out of hand. Taylor Soule, hard drive. No foul. Strautmane plays solid defense without fouling.
And that's the reason the Eagles have been able to stay into this game up until this point, is they have not allowed runs. They've had comebacks for every threat that they've had, but right now they need to dig deep and get some stops on the defensive end.
Let's see if Syracuse and their star point guard, Tiana Mangakahia, slow the tempo down. Mangakahia has scored 13 of those points in the second half. Goes at Guy, and that's a foul on the floor on Emma Guy. BC switching on every single screen, so that has put Guy in a lot of situations where she's had to defend Mangakahia. 4th foul on Emma Guy, she'll head out.
That's also a great job by Syracuse, recognizing that they're switching on those plays, and Mangakahia is going to have that mismatch coming off Guy, and she's done a great job of, as I've said many times, playing on the attack and forcing those fouls.
BC looking to push. What a pass! Dickens to Soule. We just showed you Anthony Brown. That was a post pattern up ahead to Taylor Soule. And BC forces the turnover with pressure defense. Soule's jacked.
And that was only their 4th fast break point of this game, but Soule, who does an unbelievable job of running the court, and Dickens did a great job of leading her for that easy bucket.
Sydney Lowry helped force the turnover. Big swing moment in this game. Milan Bolden Morris misses the 3. There's Soule running over Mangakahia, picking up her 2nd foul. Would have been a big one for Mimi Bolden Morris. Could have made it a 6-point game. I feel like Syracuse is one run away from putting this game out of reach if they can string together a couple more possessions. Win would move the Orange to 22-7, 11-5 in the ACC. Should be on their way to the NCAA tournament for a 5th straight year, and that's pretty impressive considering they hadn't been to the tournament in eons before Quentin Hillsman took over. Drummond wants 3. Give her 3.
This will also be the 10th straight year that Coach Hillsman has had 20-plus wins in the season, and that's in the middle of that coming into ACC play, and having the strength of schedule that they've had has been incredibly impressive for the Orange.
Made the tournament in 2013, haven't looked back since, including an NCAA runner-up finish in 2016. Milan Bolden Morris off again from 3. The Eagles have gone cold in this second half. Off the rebound from Soule, new possession for Boston College, down 12. Lowry rattles out. BC just 4 of 18 from 3 today.
And they come in on those 7 straight losses that they've had, shot less than 20% from 3. And it's hard to win many games if you're shooting that low of a percentage from beyond the arc.
BC's battle today, but Syracuse starting to pull away. Drummond missed it. Another offensive board belongs to Lewis. Rebounds well from her guard position. That's her 4th rebound today. Feels like they've all come on the offensive end. Strautmane wide open. Missed for the first time. She made her first 3 clean looks from outside. Stays a 12-point game. Just 5 minutes to go, fourth quarter. Syracuse has its largest lead tonight. Pinot attacks Stroutmana, well defended. Good challenge from Dignish Stroutmana. Carrie, that's how they teach it. She was upright and didn't move at all, held her positioning.
Yep, she's done a great job of defending the inside without fouling and really forcing tough shots over her long width.
Ortlep and Guy ready to check in for Boston College at the next whistle. Manga Kahia shifty, got too deep and missed it. Sissoko sticks it back. Kari Sissoko scored 4. Another offensive board for Syracuse. Dickens' pass gets away from Pinot. BC turnover 14.
And right now they're on a 3-minute scoring drought, just one of their last 7.
Coming at the worst time in this game, it's allowed Syracuse to open it up and lead by 14. These teams both force a lot of turnovers, no different today. Syracuse has turned it over 15 times, Boston College 14. Manga Kahia's floater doesn't go. Eagles trying to push. Soul stripped. That was well done by Kiera Lewis. Ball will stay with Boston College, and with 3:47 to go, back in come Ortlep and Guy. Feels like now or never for Boston College. Time winding down.
I'll tell you, sophomore Kiera Lewis has done an unbelievable job on the defensive end. She's so active with her hands. Has really forced a lot of tough shots and turnovers as Ortlep hits a 3.
It's a big one. She's been on the bench for the majority of this second half. She comes in and hits a clean 3. Back to an 11-point game. Syracuse had gone with more Milan Bolden Norris than Taylor Ortlep in this second half. Boston College with Joanna Burnaby McNamee leaning toward the sophomore, but now the junior Ortlep back in. And she is a player who is an emotional leader for this BC team. Manga Kahia step back. That's unguardable. 22 today for Manga Kahia. It's taken her 21 shots to get there, 7 for 21. Ortlep got it again. Well, she's fresh.
And Ortlep's one of the reasons where they've been able to win some of these ACC games, coming in and hitting big shots when they've needed her to. As you said, really the emotional leader, but stepping in and creating some crucial points.
66-56 game. Stroutmana has her 4th. Timeout, Quentin Hillsman. 69-56.
And that hurts. If you're Boston College, you hit 2 big 3s and come down, try to make some momentum, but then Stroutmana, who's been unbelievable from beyond the arc, that's her 4th 3 of the game.
Digna Stroutmana, sophomore from Riga, Latvia, part of a super talented recruiting class a couple of years ago. One thing Quentin Hillsman's done incredibly well, and to say how did he resurrect the Syracuse women's basketball program? Well, he has recruited his tail off. Syracuse consistently has put out top 10 to top 20 recruiting classes since he took over.
Yep.
They do play in the Carrier Dome. That can be a recruiting asset as well for the Syracuse women's basketball team. 13-point lead for Syracuse, and Taylor Soul double dribbles. 15th Boston College turnover. Joanna Burnaby McNamee will take her 3rd timeout of 4 with 2:31 to go. Fans, don't forget that ESPN Plus is your home to thousands of exclusive original sports programming. Be sure to tune in for the best in sports action, including college basketball, international soccer, the UFC, and much more. For more information and how to sign up, download the ESPN app or visit espnplus.com. Now, only 4 days away from the ACC women's basketball tournament. Right now, the odds favor Boston College playing in the first game of the tournament on Thursday, the 12-13 matchup. Got to see what happens in all those out-of-town games to figure out who Boston College will play. There were 3 teams tied at 5 and 10. But if the Eagles win that one, they would play Syracuse again on Friday.
And I'll tell you that Greensboro, North Carolina ACC tournament is one of, my favorite memories of college. They do an unbelievable job of putting on a great show. They get a lot of fans for women's basketball, and such a great experience for the players.
Mangakahia with a dagger. 25 for Tiana Mangakahia, 18 in the second half.
And she does it from all over. She's 3 3-point shots. She's 6 for 6 from the free throw line and 8 field goals.
Kiara Lewis tagged for the foul. It's the third on Kiara Lewis. The fourth on Syracuse. Inbound coming for Boston College. Well, BC battled. It was 30-29 at halftime. But a big third quarter for Syracuse. They outscored BC 23-16. They've outscored them by 8 in this fourth quarter to build a 16-point lead. It looks like the 17th ranked Orange will improve to 22-7. That ranking should get better heading to next week, particularly because they beat number 22 Florida State on Thursday. It was a heck of a game, 94-88.
That's a very good young Florida State team.
Guy tried to volleyball that in bounds, and it is out off the BC center. All right, so you're Boston College. You'll head into the ACC tournament on an 8-game losing streak, but there were some real positives to take, especially out of the first half of this game. So what should the message be from Joanna Burnaby-McNamee between now and Thursday?
I think you can see what can happen when you really dig down and defend. They did a great job of defending and really limiting opportunities for Syracuse early in this game, but I think what really hurts them against great teams are those turnovers and those unforced turnovers, which allow for easy points on the other end and rebounding the basketball.
Emma Guy's fouled out. Sorry, Carrie.
No.
It's interesting because Boston College and Florida State are the only two teams that haven't played any seniors in the entirety of the ACC. So everybody will be back for BC next year. When we were chatting with Joanna Burnaby-McNamee before the game, you could sense how important she feels it would be to go even just win that 12-13 game. If they get one postseason win, really something to build on with this group heading into a year next year where they expect to be improved with the familiarity of this system.
Yep, and it's never easy to lose, and it's never easy to lose multiple games, but being able to go to the end of season play knowing that having the confidence, you can play with anyone, and even as young as they are, just to be able to build as a program for what's to come.
Offensive board and follow for Gabrielle Cooper, her first 2 points of this game. Cooper was a star recruit out of high school, the number 2 player in the class 3 years ago coming out of the Chicago area. Inside the final minute, it's gotten away from BC a bit in this fourth quarter. Lowry misses short. It's again, 3-point shooting just didn't go down for BC, 6 of 22. Mangakahia stripped by Gerard, and Marnell Gerard scores her first 2 of the game. Back to a 16-point game. So Thursday, 2 p.m. will be the next game for Boston College as Gerard reaches in with the foul. Heading into today, the most likely matchup was Virginia. But again, it depends on how things played out across the ACC. You can go to theacc.com after today to figure out who will be BC's matchup.
And Virginia's a very winnable game for the Eagles. They lost to them in overtime just a few weeks ago. But as you said, going in and being able to win a game in ACC championship play will just build a lot for their confidence. And I'll tell you, if they get Syracuse again, it's not easy to beat any team 3 times.
By the way, with Virginia's loss today, it does look like it will most likely be Virginia and Boston College. That was a game with no Taylor Ortleb, where BC still nearly won. So back at full strength, they'll feel like they have some confidence going into that game. 2 more free throws coming for Tiana Mangakahia. A chance for her to pad her stats of 26 points, 19 in this second half. So for Syracuse, slow start. Where do they go from here? They'll play on Friday, possibly against this Boston College team again.
I think one of the biggest advantages when you finish high in the conference is getting those buys. So being able to get some rest, get your feet under you, and be ready to play in that second round. But as Syracuse has shown this season, they're able to play with anyone, and they're able to win any game. So I think the way that they're playing offensively, and that's 1 through 10, I think they have a really great chance to go far in this tournament play.
It's interesting. Ask Quentin Hillsman, who you see there before the game. You know, in these next 5 days, is there anything particular to be working on, anything you want to grow before you get to postseason? He said, we just want to rest. This point in the year, if you haven't figured it out, you're not going to figure it out. That was what he said. So they know the type of team they are. They know what they do well, and that's what they're going to focus on heading to Greensboro.
I think that is the right mentality you practice and you build up all year just for this play. And so you just have to have faith that you're doing the right thing. And right now, the most important thing is to make sure you rest and you stay healthy.
Boston College gets one more crack at it. Milan Bolden Morris for a third three. No. Rebound, Kiara Lewis, and that does it. Just a 1-point game at halftime, but Syracuse scores 46 in the second half, outscoring BC 46-30, thanks in part to 20 second half points for Tiana Mangekahia. The Orange take a 76-59 win.
And the Orange coming in and showing why they are one of the best teams in the country. But the Eagles, Burnaby McNamee has to be proud of their fight and their defense that they came out with, but just couldn't pull it out against number 17 Syracuse.
Orange woke up in the second half. Tiana Mangekahia played phenomenal second half basketball. They'll head to the ACC tournament as the 5 seed. Boston College will head out as the 13 seed. For Carrie Shields, I'm Bill Spalding saying good afternoon from Boston College's Conti Forum, where once again the final score is Syracuse 76, Boston College 59. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live on the ESPN app, or to watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks. Log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.